Good evening, folks, and welcome to the podcast. It is another episode of Wobbly Player Syndrome. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg. It's episode 77, and we have four of us today. We'll get straight into the introductions because we're excited to be here. Look at the excitement on Adam's face. Hello, Adam.
Hello. How's everyone tonight?
Good. Got him. Yeah, and of course we have Not Safe for Work Mark.
Hey, folks. How the fuck are you?
There we go. Stop the clock. That was quick.
On purpose.
And of course we have Radio Mike.
Hey, how's it doing?
I'm doing well. Everything is exciting in your part of the world, I hope, folks. If not, don't tell us. We want happiness. No.
It is definitely a thing.
It's definitely a thing. Things are happening.
That's what ticker source had in
holidays.
mind, but
School holidays are still going.
The school holidays is about as fun as ticker sauce to the eye, isn't it?
yeah, I'd rather the school holidays than the fucking ticker source I have in my life. Let's just leave it at that. For those who missed the conversation before, I cooked Indian food with tikka masala sauce, and now I've just rubbed it into my eye.
Yeah. It's trying to prove how good the food was. Looks as good as it eats. Yeah. So if you're not familiar, this is Wobbly Player Syndrome. It is a 40k podcast. It is episode 77, and it is called Mind Games. That's right. We're going to look at your mental state in the hobby. What drives you to play? If there are concerns when you play, what makes you sometimes have a go, ooh, maybe I should have done that, about the game and stuff like that. And we're going to talk very deeply about it in a non-professional way. Just want to point that out. But here we are. First, we'll get through our regular stuff, and our regular stuff should be quick, actually, because I don't know how busy we've been the last month. We'll see. Because we're going to let Radio Mike talk about all the new releases. Sit back, relax. It's a long story. There's so much for him to tell. Take it away, Radio Mike.
All them new releases, yeah. So I talked about the Sisters and the Steelers in the last episode. And since then, I don't think anything's come out at all for 40k that isn't like books and shit. There's been no models as far as I've noticed. I checked. I can't see any. Oh, yeah. Yes, Scaventide came out for AOS. AOS, I think, has been taking up all of the bandwidth. So, not a lot's appeared on the 40k end, and people get mad at me when I go on about the AOS
I was going to
stuff.
say, and you know us, we're big supporters of AOS. Well, listen to all of it. Stay tuned till after this podcast where it's dead air. No, so...
I mean, there is a bunch of Necromunda stuff coming out this weekend, and I do love Necromunda stuff. There's like the fucking Hive Secundus box.
Yeah.
It's probably Secundus, but it's fucking Secundus.
Yeah, we're Australian, mate. You got to say the title as well as swearing someone.
And weird corrupt gene stealers, which is cool. And some like Necromunda terrain, and some new Necromunda models for Proxy and a Fixer, and a new one. They're releasing a map poster, like a big poster map for the fucking Hive Secundus exclusion zone, which is weird and semi-interesting. I thought it was maybe a book or something, and then I looked. I was like, no, that's just a big poster.
Strange.
Yeah, they're re-releasing a bunch of. Sorry?
Is that the one with the tech priest with his pet gene stealer? Is that model's in that box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there is a tech priest. He's like not really a tech priest. It's weird.
Yeah.
The lore is fucky. He's like a gene stealer that thinks he's a tech priest.
Yeah.
It's weird. They're also re-releasing a bunch of the old dwarf stuff. You know, the characters and troops, the war engines, and also some really old dwarf mercenaries. You can get, like, dwarf spearmen and shit. Like the old metal dwarf mercs and stuff. So there's some interesting stuff coming out for the old world coming up. If you like dwarves, and I do like dwarves.
I do like dwarves. That was my army when I played fantasy, so...
I did see someone on Instagram painting Chaos Dwarves.
Oh.
And I went, where are they getting these from?
3D printers.
No, these are
the
metal ones.
Yeah.
Oh, the actual old ones.
No, I think they are, yeah.
I mean, I know people who still have unpainted Chaos Dwarves. I have a bunch of the fucking Kings of War. I can't believe they're not Chaos Dwarves.
Oh, yeah. You've talked about those before. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that was an exciting round of what's new in 40k.
Nothing.
Except for a new box set, which sounds like you're swearing at your opponent.
There was a rumor engine out.
Sorry?
There was a rumor engine out in on the WoW
On the WoW.
Warhammer community site. I did see.
Oh, yeah, there's been a couple of weird things. There's always rumors and shit like that, but like there's not been any model releases.
We're dealing facts here. Yeah, all right, we'll move on. We'll move on to the hobby progress because that's the next part of our regular. And we've got people here. And I love the English language. I like to kill it as much as possible. Oh my god.
My England is magnifical.
Sprechen the English.
I'm just going to move on. Adam, you're up first. Hobby progress. There you go.
So it depends which one I can see. So I went away for about 3 weeks. I did take a fair bit with me. I got one model done. Which is my Chaos Lord on a Juggernaut, I think it is.
Yep.
And yep, I finished it. I actually did his shoulder pauldron with the Earth or the planet and that. And I started my that's the named Dreadnought from the Space Wolves as well.
I was going to say,
Bjorn.
Is that the metal Bjorn or is that the plastic one?
That's the plastic, but he's so tiny. He is so tiny.
It's because he's old Boxnaut. He's only little.
Yeah, I know. But there's so much gold on that. So much gold. But I've just got to glue him together and he's done. See, look, you can see the world on the World Eaters plate.
Yep.
I actually tried to do blue behind it as well. That was really hard with a shaking hand. And that was because of too much wine. But that's a different story.
That's not what I mean by blood for the blood god.
Red wine, same colour, isn't it? But yeah, I've once I get the Brawn guy done, he'll actually look quite good. But yeah, I only got 2 models out of 15 I took.
Was a work thing, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll move on then. It is my turn. I have finished some stuff. I finished an Exalted Sorcerer for 1,000 Suns. I was very happy with how the wings turned out. It was just a very basic washover. I went, oh, don't do any more. It looks good. And then I finally based some green army men. So they are now done, and they can run around in the field. I haven't played Salamanders for a while, so they'll have to wait. And then mostly I've been working on Magnus the Red, and a progress shot will come up in a moment. He's very close to being finished, but I am now reaching the panic stage, which we'll talk about in the mental thing in the hobby, where that can play on your head at times. But I've had fun painting most of it. Tried a few tricks, waiting for it to turn up. There's a whole lot of green stuff everyone's looking at the moment, except for our podcast, which we'll talk about green. So instead of making him red, I made him a little bit of red, I made him dark. So the further out he gets from his more the chest, it gets darker, and that's him there. And I've tried some metal shifting colour paint on the armour as well, which has come out really quite nice in that photo. That's nice. And then I decided to highlight the feathers. You want to talk about patience? You wanted to...
Oof.
It worked. It looks great. But oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, and that was during the stream, so thank you everyone on the stream at the time for keeping my sanity. Alright, let's move on. Ready, Mike?
I've
Been busy.
really bounced around this month. Started. Did I talk about the toads last month, or was that a this month
That's
thing?
this month.
Yeah, like I got distracted by painting some plague toads because they were on my desk and have been since they were still out of Legends. So I got distracted and painted them. Then I worked on some terrain because I kept trying to paint some terrain. I bounced back to my Votan, put a bunch of blue on a bunch of dudes, and fixed my fucking Grimnir, who I dropped and smashed his hand, which is not thematic at all, I swear. And yeah, I finally decided. I spent literally months trying to make up my mind about which hand to use to replace his old hand because I couldn't decide on what would actually work. And as you often do, I went with the first thing that I thought of, came back to it and decided to go with that, and it looks fine. I think it looks pretty good. I ended up with one of the pointing hands from the old Firstborn Marine Devastator squad.
Oh, okay.
And I've built and started painting fucking Inner Circle companions. I'm not sure if there's a picture of them with paint on them.
Red.
I'm not sure if I've posted a picture of that. They're more painted than they were in any of the pictures. Oh, geez, was Tank Day since the last episode? It was, yeah. So I painted some Impulses for Tank Day. Didn't finish them, but I got a bunch of paint on them. I think probably the closest to finished I've done is that little dude holding the book, The Watcher in the Dark, is almost finished. I've kind of put a bunch of paint on 2 different Deathwing squads and even more terrain from the fucking reactor set. I built a huge pile of the Terminator accessories that you get with every squad, the little bloody beacons and the watches and the all that junk. I built and started undercoating and painting all of my Terminator armored characters from the new boxes. I built even more Deathwing that I don't think there are pictures of in here. I built another 2 squads and the new captain, undercoated Belial. I've done fuck tons of shit this month. I even I don't know if there's a picture of the Armageddon Steel Legion.
Yeah,
I got distracted by them and started painting them. It's just been the fucking the Arvis is in there. Just so much random shit that I've just done a bit of or half of and then moved on to something else in the last month. It's been all over the place.
Fair enough. And meantime, Mark has done a horse.
I've done lots of things, but I just keep forgetting to take photos of it because it was the last couple of weeks of school, report cards. I've been a little bit busy thinking of other things. I'm just looking up on my cabinet of colour. There's 4 warbands that I've actually done work on that I will make sure I get around to putting on a site or just spreading media somewhere. But that's really about it. I can't say apart from that fellow there. Actually, I'm pretty happy with. So
he looks good.
It's happy with it. Just the colours. I'm actually happy with the base because screwing around after seeing some of your effort that you've done with water, and I'm actually playing around with a couple of textures and trying to get some special effects happening out using just washes or special paints.
Very good.
Yeah, nothing spectacular.
I think it looks pretty good, but what do I know?
Thank you. It took quite a few coats to get that skin the colour I wanted, but apart from that, pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pale colour, so I can see why it'd take a few coats, but it looks good.
Thank you.
It's okay. And I'm expecting from Adam's World Eater the planet in there.
Yep.
A little sign saying "I'm here," or "You are here."
No, it was a pain in the ass just getting the blue underneath the green because obviously I did things in reverse. I did the green first before the blue.
Fair enough. Black Sword, g'day. How are you going? Alright, cool. So that's a bit of hobby progress, and everyone listen to the podcast. It looked pretty. Trust us. Let's move into battle reports. There's only 2 battle reports this week. Now, normally we have the person who won the game talk about the match, but because I was involved with both, I'm going to let Adam talk about the one that we played against. And oh no, I may have given away the beginning. Alright, there it is. There's Thousand Suns versus I can't even remember what you brought.
A lot happened. I don't remember. I think it was
Imperial Fist. Yeah.
Dude, I don't remember that game. So what?
Yeah. There is a battle report on the Facebook page if you want to catch up on it.
I guess I lost. So obviously you're making me do it. So I lost. Congratulations.
That's all I wanted. I want to hear someone else say it. Yeah.
I lost.
I think I played my Imperial Fists, and I play with what I have. I didn't like the Burner Boys there. Now I'm looking at it, I'm going to get rid of them and change a bit. But I played them a little bit too far forward, and I should have just used them as a gun line. But yeah, I took for granted the Thousand Suns going, oh, they're no good at melee. They apparently are, and they hurt.
No, the Terminators aren't.
Yeah, well, the Terminators sucked against the
Oh
Dreadnought.
my god, they're
but
shit.
yeah, I'm interested to go against the Thousand Suns with my World Eaters again.
I'll have Magnus ready by then. So we have Magnus versus Angron. That should be interesting. I will run away and you will chase me.
Yes. But yeah, it's been. Oh, I just remember it was a brutal game. I didn't lose by much, and there wasn't many models left on the table.
No, I think it was about a 4-point game in the end.
Yeah.
And we were both playing what we owned and what on the table, so not the most efficient forces, but it was fun. I learnt that the Occult Terminators was Thousand Suns. Ah, shit. Well, they can't take down a Dreadnought anyway. A ballistus Dreadnought. Not even a bloody big thumping one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so the second match is Custodes versus my Thousand Suns. And I'm talking about it because I lost. And Anthony's not here. Now, the Custodes, but they knew this is after this was after the data slate. So I had some extra points to try and find. I think wasn't much. I think I could add. That's right, add 2 car spawns maybe. I don't know. I'm making it up now. So it was the same list I had against Adam, and it was a very different result. I got trounced, absolutely trounced. Wasn't even a close match in any shape or form. I think it ended up being a 40-point win to the Custodes. It was over by turn 2. It was unpleasant. It's always fun playing against Anthony, but that was a wake-up call going, yep, Occult Terminators suck. Don't go, and bolters against Custodes don't do anything, and I need to learn how to use Thousand Suns better. Magnus is coming. Hopefully that will change things. But yeah, there we go. We played. That's such a
But when
small
is Magnus going to arrive?
When he's good and ready.
Don't rush me. We got a game this weekend. He'll be on that match. Yes, we played 2,000 point battles. So that Custodes list you see there, it's very small, but it is 2,000 points. We did play 2,000 point battles. As I said, much like Adam with his Thousand Suns with his Imperial Fist, it's what we've got fielded is what we've got painted. So it doesn't always mean it's an efficient list. But that's the next part. Build the bits and go, oh, maybe I'll try this. Yeah, now I've got a core, now I'll build on it. That's generally how I work. That's how my Salamanders worked. That's how my witches suck. That's how my...
That's why I got absolutely smashed when I brought out my head mech, because I built one I felt was cool and not a really viable force.
Yeah, we do play with the rule of cool a lot, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine. That's how we play. That's what we do.
You gotta like what you're putting out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I often field kind of the most recently painted stuff just because I want to use it, not necessarily because it's good.
Yeah.
Basically, the stuff that I thought I did a good job painting, not necessarily good.
Yeah. If you're after a podcast about meta chasing, that ain't us. Yeah.
Meta, I barely knew her.
But boom.
Oh, the timing. All right, let's get rid of our
Should've done the
small,
drop.
short break, and then we'll talk about the month topic. The words. I'll work out how to speak later. All right, be back soon. And it's non-paid break. And welcome back. Hopefully everyone heard the H in that because I didn't quite hear it. It just said, like you said, boobs.
For once, it wasn't all about the boobs. It was about the hooves.
Clip clop, clip clop.
If they're doing that,
know
it's
we're
something
playing
good. Yeah.
That's, centaurs got de-evolved into towers. I said to Michael on social medias before they became a running joke.
Oh, that's
Or
funny.
copying joke.
So those short breaks are just because we want to say thank you to the people who provided us with the music and the images that we use on our logos. So thank you, Big Jammy and Storyboard Concept.
Yeah, Twitch. It's not some kind of advertising or anything. Fuck off.
No
There we go.
monies. No monies at all.
No money has changed hands.
No, damn
Bank
it.
accounts, maybe, but not hands.
Not hands. Alright, so let's get into our monthly topic, which we're looking at. It's called Mind Games. We're looking at what drives us in the hobby, what can frustrate us in the hobby, and what can distract us in the hobby. Should be a short conversation, right?
Oh dear.
Where do we start? Great question. I know it's a great question. Let's get a new model out and we'll start to paint. Is okay. I think Mark, you were also talking about this. Is all right. It's assembled. Now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the fuck do I find a scheme for this fuck up? What's going to work?
Yeah. So where do we start, folks? What do you want to talk about? We'll talk about. All right. We play, as we mentioned at the start earlier, that we're not meta chasers, we're not tournament players or active tournament players. But is it stressful when we try and put a list together regardless? Let's start there. List building. All right? You know you're going to play... Like, I know I'm going to play Custodies. Fucking. That is horrifying when I know they're playing Custodies. And... do I put my through shoot? Yeah, I will build about 400 lists. Try and end up with the first one I built. But does anyone get a little stressed when it's just little things like that?
I don't think I've changed my Necron list, apart from adding the occasional updates to an Overlord or a Cryptic, since that first game I played against you, Greg, all those years ago in 7th.
Jesus.
Because I liked what I had and it worked for me.
Yeah.
So, no
Yeah, I mean
stress there.
that's one part of the hobby where I'm fairly chill about, is just not giving a fuck if I win or lose a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like when I'm writing a list, I'm just like, I feel like taking this, so I will. Occasionally I'll sit down and try and write something that's very powerful, but even then I'm not stressing that hard about it.
Sawdust is in the house.
I mean,
he heard something about negativity to his Custodies, so he's turned up.
somewhere in the distance his ears went.
I kind of overthink building lists, and then when I've got it, I look at what I can put in it, and then I look at it, go, no, if I don't put, oh no, but that leader doesn't go, oh no, and then I rebuild it, and then I look at it, then I realise I don't have that model, so I got to try and get that model done. So it builds a lot of, I would say, angst to me that I need to get this thing done because I want to have a fun list, but not a die on turn one list.
Yeah, I think that's when you're building a list of all the stuff you already have painted. Takes a bit of that pressure off. Doesn't mean it's going to work. Thousand Suns is a good example. Building lists. I usually end up with a core. Like if I'm building salamanders, I know generally which units are going in first. And then go, all right, do I know who I'm playing against? I might need to take some heavy artillery somewhere, maybe. But don't generally stress. Yeah, write it a couple of times. Usually end up back where it is. Or even better, you write it so many times you go, fuck, what did I have at the start? Shit, scrap it all and start again. Oh, sorry, as you couldn't hear anything tower being picked on. Black Sword's recently writing 1,000 point lists, not 1,000 lists, not meta chasing. More about writing to match the chapter of his lore. So if you're not familiar with Black Sword's work, you should be. What's wrong with you? He has created his own Space Marine chapter, and not only that, it's a website, glorious story behind it. So really deep into the lore. The paint jobs are beautiful. You should check it out. I will drop the link in when I can, unless he does it himself, because he can promote himself. Bulldust says he cannot. My only problem with list building, I cannot bring everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but the only problem is facing Bulldust. He usually brings 3,000 points of models for a 2,000 list.
Yeah, but the last time he did that, he
like,
dropped 1,500 points of them. So, as in physically dropped them. Yeah, there you go. There's Black Sword's link. So that's pretty. I guess that's probably the more common one that people might have, especially if they're going to a tournament. If you're going to a tournament, especially if your first tournament. There might be a bit of fear of what you're going to experience. You might be playing against someone who wins at all costs. So I can see there'd be some stress and anxiety there. How do we deal with that? Panic?
Ever played a tournament? Don't know.
Well, I have played a tournament, and I did change my list several times, and my list got absolutely carded when I played it, except for against one person. Thanks, Adam.
You wiped me.
Yeah, I said, except for one.
When you're getting into something, I've always tried to have this approach of like, I'm new to this. I expect to lose.
Yeah.
I don't. It weirds me out that other people don't approach new things like that. Like, if you are new at it, you are still learning. Allow yourself to lose.
Yeah. Like that last time I played that tournament last year, I walked straight up to the first person who was like third on the ACT ladder.
Yeah.
And I went, "Hi, I'm X. First tournament. I'm going to suck. I'm going to lose."
Yeah.
Shook hands.
I didn't say I was going to lose. I definitely said, "G'day, it's my first tournament. Please be kind. I don't know what I'm doing." Yeah. Yeah. Then I did find out he did play a rule incorrectly, and it screwed me over. But that's not the point.
He's not bitter and holding on to that at all. No.
No.
Told you I was a dwarf player. Someone did suggest I need to start playing Votan, but I don't know why. Oh.
Just pick up some towel and clip on.
So that's a good point. If you go in, it is about a mindset when you go into things like tournament. It's with anything new. How does someone new to the hobby approach that? I mean, going into a GW store can be intimidating itself depending on the staff, because some of them are very excitable.
I've made my opinion known on that before, yes.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, all those years ago when hearing you and Anto talk about 7th, and that would finally convince me to go to a local one where I was just working across the road from it.
Yeah.
I was very excited until I got in there, and once I met a salesperson in there, the anxiety just kicked in, because I walked in there with something in my mind. I want this box of models. I want these 2 paints. And then they came down with the thunder. Oh, we got to get this, and you got to get this, and you got to get this. And it was trying to put almost like that. I hate using the phrase, but that FOMO, that fear of missing out, because I wasn't going to do it exactly the way that the store wanted me to do it. It really made it hard.
Yeah, some of the stuff really do the hard sell, and it's fucked up. Like, I've known a couple of people, I know at least one dude who stopped going to one of the GWs because his girlfriend went in there to pick him up something that she knew exactly what he wanted, and the staff member talked her around into getting him something else he didn't want or need, trying to convince her that, oh, well, if he does this, he needs this.
Yeah.
And he was fucking furious at them over that, because she went in knowing exactly what she wanted to get, and they talked her out of it.
Yeah. My daughter was picking up an order that I'd done online for me because I couldn't get to it, and he spent a good 20 minutes instead of handing over my order trying to get her to start buying stuff for herself, and that was just wrong. Wrong. But that's why for me, I'll try to avoid that anxiety situation as much as I can by avoiding that store. I'll go to one of the other ones far down the other side of Canberra before I'll go to that one now.
Yeah, we've got 2 friendly local gaming stores now. I do like them.
We've got 3 technically.
One in Mitchell,
Two
one
in the mall.
Cotton. Oh yeah,
Two
the
in the
other
mall,
one.
one in
I
Mitchell.
forget that one. Yeah. So
And
Black Sword's just saying that their local GW store doesn't have games in store anymore unless they're intro games for new people. The GW store actually pushes regular players to play games at a local club to try and have it a bit more relaxed atmosphere. Interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what our local store is doing, because they don't have enough space in there to run games.
They've just basically got
The tables are tiny. You couldn't play in there.
They used to have Friday nights, didn't they? I'm sure they did.
They did used to have.
try and build.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have and I remember at one point they were also running like a
Slow Grove?
under 15 night
Yeah,
or
they
something
still
where
do
like
that on
younger
Friday
kids
nights.
could do that.
Okay, that's still there.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't spoken to them about what they run in ages because
Yeah, I haven't
Always in
had
a
that
hurry.
experience that you guys have had, but I was in sales for a very long time, so good luck trying to get to convince me otherwise. Mind you, I do fall for stuff. I'm not immune. Just don't look that way. Yeah. Well, that's a big start. I mean, the introduction to the hobby in itself, like the price point, is not exactly friendly for a
God, no.
young kid who wants to try a new game. They got a bit
Well,
better with
for
some
me,
of the
like,
things. Sorry.
I was going to say, even for me, my old job where I was earning a decent amount of money, it's still not an easy thing to think about. Especially when you walked in, there was something set on your mind, and next thing you know, someone's trying to convince you to do other stuff. So, yeah.
All right, so now we've gone into the store. We've got stuff that we actually want, not forced on us. We're going to take it home. Now, we all have a pile of shame. Or some people have
I don't.
containers of shame.
I got
Shipping
2 new
containers of
boxes.
shame? No?
I feel no shame.
Sorry, we all have piles of potential.
My pile of shame is very different coloured, thanks to the lovely people of Warhammer Underworlds, where they make everything different colours so it doesn't look so horribly grey.
Nice.
Yeah, they did that with the Death Guard, and the problem is I don't do green Death Guard. So I do white. I got the white over this green. It's still coming through. Son of a mother, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, shit, just dropped the box. So that's nice of them, or the different
I mean,
colours
mine-
to make me
mine
realise
works
how
okay.
fucked up I am.
The Wraithbone spray works fine over it.
Yeah. I got there. It's alright. I didn't panic that hard. I'm just trying to make it more dramatic. Alright? Because it's all about me. Come on. Alright, so we've got our piles of potential. What drives us to make them not potential? Are we proactively going, alright, let's do it! And just focus solely on getting these models done? Well, how do we do that? What's the mental state of you trying to get things done? I know I jump around from model to model, but I also have a hobby night, which I try to also consciously try and change up, so I'm not doing the same model each week. But at the same time, yes, I have a handful of models I've base coated, nothing else, and some are just in grey. Someone's looking after that. Look like Adam jumped on that.
What's
Yeah.
that?
No, okay. It's alright.
I didn't do it.
Someone's trying
Adam.
to sell us some best viewers.
Oh.
It's very exciting.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm going to click it. I want to see what it is.
His
I'm
screen
going
just
to get
cuts out.
virus.
Yeah. Did you get it? Did you get him?
Oh. I want to
Thank you, Jacob.
the Twitch followers fast. Buy Twitch followers in cheap. I'm sorry. If they're bad enough to listen to us, it's their own fucking fault.
FOMO, mate. FOMO. I might miss out on getting all the Twitch streamers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my hobby progress for this month kind of speaks to my usual process for fucking painting models and building models. It is bouncing around like a motherfucker unless I sit down and come down with a really concrete plan first.
Yep.
Like, I had, I was planning at the start of the year to try and do the War on Grey Plastic to try and stop this happening. Like, I made a list of all the models I wanted to work on, what months I wanted to do them, because if I don't make that kind of structure for myself, I end up with this, where I'm just hitting everything. Shockingly, when my computer fried, I lost all of my detailed planning that I did, and that's why I've just been bouncing around doing random shit all year. And I haven't actually sat down and Actually, I sat down today and rebuilt that list so that I can stop bouncing around like a moron and actually finish the stuff that I wanted to get finished. But yeah, shockingly, the ADHD, I just bounce around like crazy doing random fucking models because I have so many models. The models I can see are the ones that I'm likely to bounce around between, so I can kind of influence it that way as well. The ones I want to work on, I try and leave out, so I will see them and go, you!
So many of the people who join me on the hobby nights know that I ask a lot of questions and they never have to feel pressured to answer them. ADHD, tell us more. How does it affect your hobby? You do not have to answer if it's too personal, of course.
I mean, this kind of like sums it all up. Like, it can be really hard to kind of stick to habits and to form new habits and to stick to a plan because your brain really fucking doesn't want to. And if I put things away, I basically forget they exist. So this is why all my shit's out. Because if it's in a box, I'll forget that it's there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so I
I had that.
Yeah.
I don't have the H part. I've got the ADD without the H.
Yeah.
And that H would make life a little bit easier for me. Because for me, it's just like I'm focusing on this at the same time, but I can't split myself to bounce. So I don't have that lovely little thing that you've got. I've just got it there. I've got to get it done. It's very hard for me.
Yeah,
so
my wife's the same. She's missing the H. I've got the combined type.
So, for the novices like me, what does missing the H mean?
The hyperactivity.
I have the hyperactivity.
She does the hyper part, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's just the distraction.
Yeah, I can focus on multiple things at once, which is very useful as a teacher. I can carry 3 or 4 conversations at the same time while reading a book and having a TV show going in the background. But I've got to finish what I've got to do. I can't bounce like Michael can go from that to that to that to that. If it's there, I've got to get it done. I've got to finish watching that TV show. I've got to finish reading that book. I've got to finish that 4 fucking things in that warband that I've got to do before I can even look at that brand new box I've got to scave and tie. I have to get it done.
Yeah, interesting. Different effects. Yeah. Like,
it can put a lot of pressure on me because I want to get stuff done. I just spent a stack of money on a brand new edition of Age of Sigmar, and so I want to get it done. I want to get it out. But I can't do it. I know I've got to finish those 4 fucking figures before I can get anything else done. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just the attentional stuff. Like, the brain craves novelty.
So I went quiet as I took a drink so I could really reply back.
Yeah, just... over my life, I've kind of realized that if I want to actually make sure I do something in like a long-term plan, I need to make a plan. I can't just rely on myself to be able to do it because I don't have that initiative to just do it. I have to have planned it in advance to make myself do it.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, I don't plan.
That's like... For the longest time, it was kind of my running joke. The reason I entered CanCon every year was so I would paint a different 1,500 points worth of models every year.
Okay.
Because I had to paint the models I was taking to CanCon. And I made myself do it by entering every year. Then I stopped entering CanCon and I stopped painting as many models.
No, go on.
I don't know why I pick whatever I pick to build. I don't know why I picked the warband that I'm picking at the moment. There's no real reason why, but because I've now picked it, I'm now stuck on it until it's done. And there's no reason. I don't have what you had there, Mike, where you said you wanted to do it while you're going to CanCon and all that, but whatever fucked up little reason goes through this ferreted brain that I've got, that's what I've picked. That's what I'm stuck with, and it shits me to tears because I can't break out of it. it combines it's quite nicely with the ASD factor, and that's it. That's my focus. Gotta fucking get it done.
Yeah, it's sometimes I often find that I kind of fall into that trap of like, if I want to do that, I have to do it in this particular way, and if any part of that can't be done right now, fuck it, I can't do it at all. I need to go do something else.
Yeah. Well, just I'm going to interrupt you because Adam's there too.
Yep.
He was just talking about that he took 15 models away to go and paint and did one. And he also mentioned at times you get the hobby fatigue. So it's a different side.
Yes.
Not must finish, it's more of, I got to walk away.
So yeah, as everyone's probably seen me, I will do 2,000 points of nights in 3 weeks. What's
That's
the
only a
quality
couple of
like?
models.
I know, but yeah, that's still a lot of
Big
models to
models.
paint.
I am acutely aware.
So when you look, I don't know what the quality's like that I paint, but they can range from really good to look, it looks good at 100 meters. But then I get to the point of after doing to 2,000 points, I just get so over it that I just go, nope, and then I just have to put the brush down and walk away from it for at least a month or two, and then want to get back into it. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just like my brain says you're not going to do it. So then I just go that, and then I look at what I can do next. And the Juggernaut one, I really wanted to do the frame, and I built it and painted it in 2 days. So it's just I've got to be in that mindset, but I just can't be fatigued from doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've definitely suffered hobby fatigue. Not like you would. Definitely go to... let's try that again. I keep adding those challenges at the Christmas time of painting a shitload of salamanders in a short time span. As soon as they're done, I don't want to touch a brush for a very long time. But I don't think it's quite the same. I think it's just because I'm sick of seeing green. But I do know that I love my hobby nights. I love talking to everyone. But at times there can be don't stuff this up. Because people are watching. And I hope my quality is good enough to be seen. So that does play in my head a couple of times. I know Magnus is definitely one of those ones. It's generally the larger ones. I critique myself a lot harder. But how do I get through it? I've got some good people who listen to me and chat, and then in the end, who cares? It's only what I do. I think it's part of the social media side of things that you put that bit of pressure on yourself immensely if you've got to get those likes, get that success and stuff. I go through patches of I don't care. I'm just going to post what I post, and then it'll be I'm checking the likes and how many's coming in and trying to get that not self-assurance, the words that are good, insert there about it. Come on,
Positive
teacher.
feedback.
Yeah, positive feedback. It's an interesting hobby. You do it for fun, but there can be those outside forces, whether it's the hyper-focus or the must complete before touching, or just overwhelmed, just out, nah, I'm done, I need to walk away. Serotonin? Yeah, I need that serotonin. Yeah.
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 That good serotonin fix.
Yeah. How do we face that? How do we face these challenges? As I said, for me, I've got a great crew for those hobby nights, and I really appreciate having the chat, because it is having a chat. Even when Joker tries to scare the shit out of me when we're playing video PC games. Oh my god, that's not relaxing. But then at the same time, I will paint to relax. Because I'm studying at the moment, I need that break, and I'll have a model sitting next to me. I go, right, I've done a chapter. I'm just going to walk over here and just paint a little bit more, get my reset, come back.
Yeah, like I've often found that the most productive I am in terms of painting is when there is stressful shit otherwise that is going on, and so I go to gravitate towards painting to something I can just try and focus on to stop the brain ticking over.
Yeah.
So it can be really good as that escape. But as to like how do you handle the different things, it's so personal. It's hard to give advice. Just pay attention to what makes your brain tick.
Yeah, and just point out we're not here to give advice. This was a question for these four here and how they are, and if they don't want to admit that they're on drugs.
Lots of drugs.
Yeah, lots of drugs. We'll get through it. Yeah. How do we get through it? As he sculls his beer. I don't know. Yeah.
The amphetamines wore off hours ago.
Lots of prescriptions.
We do not encourage that, by the way.
I usually
encourage it.
When I want to paint, I've got to have the tablet up. I usually have, battle reports or something going in the background just to distract me from what I'm doing, and I can just paint and I zone out when I paint.
Yeah, okay.
So just having stuff in the background just going and just concentrate on two things.
So that's not a factor for me because, as I said before, I can carry those multiple conversations. I find it really cool that you can put that on and it drifts you out. My wife does the same thing. She'll put on a TV show or be reading something on a book or a magazine. She's gone. That distraction's there. She's out of it forever. It'll take 2 or 3 nudges to get to her. Is that like that for you? Do you?
I just find something in the background, like just something playing in the background, bit of noise, just like lets me focus better on the little finer points for me, and I can just focus on the painting with things in the background. So I just find it just a little bit focusing for me to do that.
I wish.
I have a bit of both. I don't get focused in on anything to the point where I'm not paying attention to everything else that's going on. But I do often find that I listen to my podcasts when I'm painting or when I'm playing video games, because I my brain likes to have that multiple sources of stimulus going on at the same time to be comfortable.
Just to point out, Bulldust, it's a nice little plug here, Bulldust, thank you. Bulldust says he hobbies nearly every night. Great reset and blank my mind while listening to RLG and battle reports. Very good.
No, I can't do that. For me, I wish I could blank it out. I just can't do that. It'd be so nice to be able to sit there and that becomes my focus for it. But no, I'll be painting and I'll have something going in the background. And I'll possibly have a video going and I'll be tormenting a cat, and I just wish I could do it. It'd be so nice. Just be so nice.
Yeah.
It just seems foreign to me that you guys are able to do that.
I think for me it's because I'm doing something. Like at the moment, if I'm sitting like talking here, I am fiddling. I'm always fiddling. So when I'm painting, that is my fiddle. So that's where I get that focus and that talk, because I've got something in my hand.
I'm currently building a website at the moment, carrying a conversation on Facebook, reading the General's work, General's Handbook 23-24, and being a part of this conversation.
No, I've got a peg and a pen, and I'm playing.
I have a cat I'm petting.
But I do that. I just can't keep my hand still. That's, as I said. I had a test, and I should probably have another test, but anyway.
Yeah, no,
That's
it reminds me.
Gregory? That's for what?
To see how good I am at Rubik's Cubes, clearly.
My children keep stealing my fidget toys.
Yeah, they do that. It's funny because with the hobbying side of things, I generally don't paint outside the hobby nights. It's very rare that I do, and generally if I do, it's to use the airbrush only, not to do standard, because the airbrush is not ideal for podcast. It's probably not good for a podcast either, for a stream night, because the compressor is not a small, quiet device. But yeah, it's unusual that I don't really paint outside that, unless I've got that Christmas challenge of paint as many bloody salamanders in short time. But then that's a challenge, as I've got a target to do, and definitely get the exhaustion of that. I've still got my pen and peg. It's okay. I'm making very different shapes. I'm just very aware of it now. It's fine. It's fine. What's going on with Blacksword? Find that only have time to paint over lunch break as a work from home and have the house to yourself. Totally forget time during the weekend. Painting or night would be painting with a rotation of 5 different movies playing in the background. That's a long painting session with 5 different movies. But yes, if I am painting, I do need to have noise. I can't do silence. That doesn't work. But that's in general. If I'm sitting at home and it's quiet, I go, nope. Give me some noise.
Yeah, if it's quiet, I get about half an hour.
Yeah, it's funny. I tend to gravitate to painting to my plan. So it's like I have 2 or 3 instances per week where it's like that's the time I paint. When I'm hanging out with this person doing this thing, we sit down and we paint. And that's when I paint the thing that is my plan to work on.
Yeah.
And if it's not that time, I basically find myself very rarely working on the thing I'm supposed to be working on. When I randomly start painting bullshit, it's, the fucking Armageddon Steel Legion that have been sitting on my desk, or painting the fucking Arvis lighter that doesn't even have rules anymore. That kind of shit. Or it's like, when I sit down to watch F1 with my wife, that's when I paint terrain. Like, there are, things that my brain wants to do. It's its comfortable groove that it likes to do at that time.
Just wondering if when you're doing your terrain while watching F1 and one of the car crashes, do you crash your terrain to make an impact zone? Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm usually painting the official GW terrain, so I'm not really fucking with the shape of it.
Not being thrown across the room. Well, with Ashes, hello.
Not yet.
Alright, so that's the hobby side of things. We've all got issues. There you go. We've established that. But anyone who's listened to the first 76 episodes, don't think it comes as a surprise.
I'm playing with a red dot laser sight.
See, that would not be good in my hands. Now I'm spinning the peg on the pen. No,
I've now found a pen to feature it with while my legs are bouncing underneath the desk that I'm going with at the moment. Add that to the website. Add that to the Facebook conversation I've got going at the moment. So, I'm not fucking normal at all.
Yeah.
I'm deliberately moving my leg, because if I move my arms, I bounce my camera.
You do. Yeah, it's awesome. Alright, so we've talked about our hobby, and you have a plan. I know in my head what I want to do sometimes with models, and then I get to a go, nah. The amount of times I've picked up a model that I've done many, many times, I go, well, shit, how did I do this? How did I do it last time? No, I don't work with a plan. Even with the Magnus, I know I want to do that. And then everything else...
If you've looked at any of my Facebook posts where I've finished a model, you'll see that I usually post, for my reference later, this is the recipe I used for every colour, and I will list all the highlights and washes of every colour, because I'm like, when I come back to this army in 3 years' time, I want to know how I did this.
No, for me it's, alright, reach around, grab an old one, alright, okay, how did I do that?
Yeah, it was from over 2 decades of Dark Angels where every couple of years the fucking colour scheme changed because the paints all changed and the bloody mixes all changed. So my firstborn are a number of different shades of Dark Angel green.
Yeah, well, yeah, when GW changed their paints, that's very frustrating. Yes.
Yeah.
Frustrating. Yeah. All right. What about in-game? In-game, are you hyper-focused there, or do you jump around, or something goes the wrong way? How do you handle being absolutely smashed? Or how do you handle being the smasher? Because that's not always... You don't want to be that guy who just goes, ha 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 ha, you suck. Well, not externally anyway.
I don't know how that feels.
Don't know how that feels.
I've never done. I don't know how that
and how
goes
does that make you
because
feel?
I'm always on the other side. So, I'm used to dying and losing a lot. It's just more of for me, the adult interaction, but I don't really. I go quiet if I'm unsure of what I'm doing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's why you're always quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can hear the cogs turning from your place now.
Bulldust feels guilty if he wins. He does, actually.
He does,
I've
he
seen
does.
that
He really
many
feels
times.
guilty.
And then I feel bad because I feel like I've made him feel guilty. And I'm like, no, that's the last thing I want to do because, no, that's not right. You should enjoy the win. But, yeah, you are having there to have fun as well. They shouldn't have put a butt in there, by the way. Enjoy the win. You are there to have fun as well. Yeah.
I really enjoy a close win.
Yeah.
I do not enjoy fucking annihilating someone.
No.
There have been a couple of situations where I have enjoyed fucking annihilating someone, but normally I don't.
Bulldust now rubbing it in that he's felt a lot of guilt this year because he's well and truly in front of the ladder. So I take everything back. He should feel guilty. Yeah. I look. I know that my mood can change from if I'm well in front or well behind. I'm trying to be conscious of that.
No.
I am trying to be conscious of that, not to be a dick. I've never won Sports Person of the Year. I'm aware of that too. So
I try not to get salty when I feel like I'm losing due to bad luck. Like when you just, I can't seem to draw objectives that I need, and my opponent is drawing the really easy objectives. That's frustrating. I try not to be salty about it.
yeah,
But I sometimes just find myself like vocalizing my stream of consciousness when I'm playing,
yeah.
which may or may not be very annoying for my opponent.
See, I try and help. Even if I'm losing, I try and help people. I go, have you...
Yeah, I'm terrible
what
for
about this
reminding
version?
people. Are you sure you want to do that? Oh, that's right there. I will fucking annihilate that if you do that. Are you sure?
We've done that
It
a
is
lot.
extra funny when it's funny when they then go, yeah, no, I'm sure, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we do that a lot, but I've noticed this year we seem to be playing a bit more serious in our matches. Yeah, but we have gone, no, I can't go back in time and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's interesting. How do you deal with, especially when you have built that army, you've painted it up in the last couple of months, you've reworked your list for 6 months, and you turn up and you lose 90-0. Fuck.
It's happened to me.
Say that a lot.
No, 90-6.
90-6, sorry. Yeah, 90-16, 10 points for the painted. Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens, like, one of the little the Leagues of Blood Bowl we played during the fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
I made it to the grand final of the league and got there, and I didn't succeed a single roll for half the game. It's like, oh, okay.
Dice guides are cruel. Joker's just pointed that out as well. Yeah. So how do you deal with that? How do you come back from that? How do you get to the next game? Or do you just burn it all?
With fire. Fire fixes everything.
I just hope that I have a better game next time, and in the pure hope. But then I do look at my list, and then I change my list again.
Yeah.
But this time I'm trying to do it so I try and play the same army 3 times, and hope that they don't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it can be important to kind of try and pragmatically look at something. Like, did I lose because I fucked up? Or did I lose because my army sucks? Or did I lose because I'm unlucky? And try and genuinely figure that out.
Yeah.
If you want to try and improve about something like that. It's just trying to be more objective about looking at it.
Yeah. I'm definitely frustrated with the 1,000 Suns as they are, but I'm aware that I'm also learning the army. I'm also aware that it's not a very efficient list, but that's what I have built.
Yeah.
It still doesn't get rid of the frustration. But
Yeah.
I know I need to change something. I need to address it somewhere. Joker just builds another 3,000 point army.
It's not the same thing, but I entered a tournament yesterday, and I'm currently one-handed. and it was a medieval combat tournament, so I fought the entire tournament single sword, one-handed. I knew I was not gonna fucking win. I lost every single fight. But I was like, I wanna fight. I wanna get out there. It's fun. I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I die every time. I'm gonna try and practice my one-handed sword for funsies.
And just for the people who were late, before we came online, he said, "Yeah, I had a big tournament. I was fighting with one arm behind my back." That's how confident he was. Yeah.
And some of my opponents were like, "Oh, you've only got one arm. That's cool. I will also fight with one arm." And that was really cool and chivalric. Yeah. But I did not expect them all to do it, and they did not all do it.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think it's that. I think this happens in the sport. We played, I played cricket, and we had one of the oppositions. He had a bad leg, injured. And I said, "Okay, but you've come out in the field and you're bowling still. Do I treat it like you're injured and I should be easy on you?" And then I hit 3-4s. So no, I sort of go, well, if you feel fit enough to play, I will feel fit enough to play like I would normally then.
Yeah, play hard.
Yeah, and I tried to make a point with each opponent. I was like, I'll be fighting one-handed. I do not expect you to match weapons with me if you don't want to.
Yeah, but if you want to forfeit, I'll take that too.
Ain't nobody did that.
All right, so no, go on.
I was going to say, I have several bruises which show that people did not do that.
Yeah. So, wargaming in general can be quite intense because it's usually generally a one-on-one. You generally have a lot of pride in the work you've done for putting the miniatures on the table. Challenging just turning up to GW stores, challenges we've discovered. Some, we won't say all, we'll say some. Because I know Wellington, they're lovely people, Wellington. I just want to point that out. Hey, Wellington.
New Zealand is just full of lovely people.
They are. They really are. Yeah. Hey, New Zealand. Yeah. And they got good beer too. Anyway, where was I going with that? He distracted me with beer. I put my pen and bag down. I'm in trouble.
You said not every GW is bad. Wellington is good.
Yeah. I was talking about
GW.
I was talking about just the mental state of entering it's a competitive, even when you're not playing competitive tournament, it's still competition. You're still generally playing to win. You're not here to handicap yourself deliberately in a game. Once you're on the table, that is. You're not going to go... is it for everyone?
No.
No.
I would say no. It's like... is my big thing at the moment, and I could play out of 3 particular formats, and any one of those formats I could play either just the fuck around and have some fun, or I can then take it up and play where I have to build my decks, but still it's a bit of fuck around and fun, or I could go and do a competitive proper tournament with it. And for me, no, I'm just going to choose the one that's fun. Why I don't want to put that pressure on myself. I do have the ability, I do have the resources in the warbands, the cards, all that stuff like that, but I don't want to do that because it would put the anxiety and the pressure back on myself. I know I would get distracted by everything around me, that I wouldn't be able to put in a solid effort, and I just wouldn't have fun with it. So I think, what the fuck, why bother?
Yep.
That's just my perspective. There are things where I will probably go and take a little bit more seriously, like with the new Skaven Tide coming out. I'm actually aiming to get that and play in some of the local tournaments and work my way up to at CanCon, something I haven't done before. So yeah.
Very cool. And anyone who's part of the normal crew of my hobby nights, the new army's already been decided. You may have a clue with someone talking about Skaven Tide.
I didn't force him. He actually asked me originally.
But we're going to change the podcast to be Age of Sigmar now.
We're going to be inclusive. Inclusive. Fuckers.
If you do that, I'm going to show up with square-based fucking undead. I've got so much old world stuff that I haven't even touched.
Well, that's
But
a
yeah,
different
as
game
like
again. Is it
for everyone kind
Yeah.
of thing. I've genuinely had this conversation a couple of times this year on Reddit with people, and I've been like, look, genuinely, your expectations of this hobby, you will not have a good time if that's how you think about this. Maybe this is not the hobby for you. I have had that conversation with a couple of people.
Okay.
It's like, you need to address your expectations, or you will not have a good time playing 40k.
Yeah.
And some, if you cannot accept losing, this is not the hobby for you. You will lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Daniel. Go to bed, mate. Good night. Yes, go to sleep.
Random stranger walking in the background.
Gee, the dog changed.
I was going to say, surely you can afford some clothes for that child, Michael. Come on.
He's
It goes
wearing
through
less
his
clothes than the
plastic.
dog. The dog is wearing a shirt right
Yes,
now.
I did see that
So
photo.
bloody cold.
Oh, Bulldog's now got Age of Sigma. Interested. Uh-oh. There you go. It started.
Yeah, he's had his chance.
Corruption.
He's had his chance.
So I hope you've enjoyed seeing Mark. It's the last time he's allowed on. So
I do have all those Stormcast.
oh, God.
Yeah,
Let's
this
move
one's not
on.
going to be any good anymore.
I didn't hear
got
from
all-
you, Adam, about the. Is it for everyone?
I've got a lot of corn and a lot of Slanesh.
Cool. I've got corn. I like celery as well, but we won't go there. Bad joke, I know.
So rebranding. Joke is saying it's going to be a rebranding. Oh dear. No, Wobbly Player Syndrome still works. Real Loud Gamer still works. It's just the 40k part. Yeah, you go. I think you're right. It's all about how you go into it. If you're going expecting you're going to be king shit, you're going to learn very quickly. You're not, especially if you're starting new.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all got kids. Do we encourage them to try it? I encourage my boys to do it. They got no
Yeah,
interest,
like,
but I encourage them.
My eldest is he's often the one who badgers me. He's like, Dad, we need to clean the back table. I want to play 40k with you this weekend. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, let's do it. And my youngest has been badgering me. He wants me to build more of the Imperium magazine, so he has more Necrons to play with against me and his brother.
Nice.
So yeah, both my kids are keen.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did ask my eldest because he's got the Necrons for the Imperial magazine. I said, "Can I assemble them and paint them so I can use them?" He goes, "No, I'm going to do that." So, oh shit! Okay, good. Yeah. He hasn't touched it, but anyway.
In the future, TM.
Yeah. He wants a decent pile of potential first. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas both my boys, I was like, I'll give you half of one of those magazine runs. That's your starter.
Oh, the new one looks interesting too. Combat patrols. Oof.
Oh,
Yeah?
Yeah. It's going to be 7 different factions, combat patrols for each faction.
that's the last thing I need.
Yeah, same. Okay, that sounds dangerous. Anyway. Besides that. Alright.
No.
If you don't have to answer, but if there was a kid who also had AHD or ASD and stuff, would you encourage them to get into the hobby? Do you think that would be a suitable environment, or even if it's just the painting and stuff? And again, I'm not looking for professional statements. I'm only basing off your opinions because you guys have admitted. That sounds really bad. Admitted to having it.
Fucked up. I know I'm fucked up. To answer your question, yes, I do, and I do it at school because I've said many times before that I'm a part of the Warhammer Alliance, where G-Gub gives us free things in order to hook people into playing the game. Sounds like something slightly dubious, but we won't go there. And yes, I've got kids in that group who are very neurodivergent. I've got a lot of ASD boys who love the math aspect of the game. I've actually got a few ASD girls who love the art aspect of the painting.
Yeah.
They think that's an absolutely magnificent part of the game. They couldn't give a rat's left testicle whether they actually play those figures, as long as they can get strip the paint off and try a new scheme out later again. And then again, I've got my standard neurotypicals who will just play it because they either find it's fun blowing shit up, or someone in their group's popular and they've suddenly decided an interest to it. So yeah, I'll push it because it's a way for how do you describe this? The way for the weird kids to fit in with other weird kids without looking too weird amongst themselves.
It provides an intersection. Like, your neurodivergent kid can info dump about the weird fucking 40k lore to the other kids if they're also into it, Yep. And wargaming, like role-playing, is very attractive to neurodivergent people. Like, there's local groups here in Canberra that run D&D specifically for autism because it's really good for helping them kind of learn to interact with people in a controlled situation. Yeah. And 40k has some of that. Like, it gives them a chance to interact with people in a specific way about a specific thing where they have some groundwork rules to go from. So it can be very helpful for neurodivergent kids.
I've got my head down looking because just recently there's been a club locally in Canberra looking to involve neurodivergent people into the hobby. Once I find the link, I'll share.
It's been popping up in my Facebook.
Yeah, it's great. They're looking for some volunteers to help out and stuff.
I used to play softball with the guys who started it off originally. The guy Ian who started the concept off has got 3 very neurodivergent children.
Yeah.
And it was a way for his kids to socialise and get out and use some of the skills that their brains have inherently for themselves that they can use in a successful environment. It's really cool.
It's stupid social media. You get it blasted in your face all the time. As soon as you look for it, though,
I'll see if it's online.
Yeah, cannot find it. I think it's a great.
For people's reference, if we're going to be like pointing out specific groups, the D&D one I was talking about is Dice for Diversity.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
That's Ian.
Yeah, I used to rent the hall to them.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. There you go. Can't find it. I will find it and link it at another time. Because as soon as we stop recording, it will pop up.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. They're listening. Google's not listening to help. They're listening to...
You're just gonna have fucking days of like Facebook giving you a fire hose of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, your algorithm, man, you have done bad things
You
to
might get
it.
something for the first 10 or so days, and next thing you know, it's just going to smash the living shit out of it.
Yeah. Just gonna be days of neurodivergent wargaming groups.
Oh, there's an army builder for Sigma. Good, because I wasn't sure if there's one be released yet since it's just dropped on the weekend for the new rules.
Oh, that probably hasn't got the new rules in it properly yet, but I know there's one that's up there that I'll put in a link later.
Did you find it, Adam?
Yes.
What's it called?
Shift and Co. I'll just copy the link and...
Yeah, I can't find it. I give up. So there'll be a link. So if you are local in ACT, Canberra, Australia, there are groups around to support the hobby in any format, which is great.
That's a Facebook group.
Did it work? I'm testing it out to see what adult content you've posted. No, that's it. Forge of Legends, that's the one. And then local, not only local, but local near us.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So check them out if you're local. If you're not, check them out anyway. See if they've got something partner nearby. All right, folks. Is there anything else you want to talk about? The mind games that is 40k and how we handle. I'm just down to the peg now. That's how I handle it. The pen's gone. I've had enough of the pen. Anything else you'd like to add, folks? Good. Glad we talked.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is that the hobby has got more neurodivergent people in it than people think. I know so many people who've been super into like 40k or D&D or even the SCA Medieval Society, and you start talking about neurodivergence, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm like normal," and you kind of look at them, you're like, "Really?"
I think the first person to ever say no, if you ever say I'm normal, it's the first sign, right? To say no.
Yeah.
No.
What the fuck's normal?
I
Exactly
literally
right.
had one who was like, one guy in the SCA who was like, no, yeah, like, oh, you guys do have like things like that, but I don't. And we all just turned and looked at him and were like, really, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Dodgy Witch says that to me all the time. I said, no, I'm fine. She goes, no, you're not. I said, no.
Yeah.
Question from Black Sword before we run away. How do you guys handle toxic opponents at club levels? Kneecap them. No, we don't encourage that.
I deal with 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds. I'm in a position of authority. They don't do what I tell them. They get kicked out very fucking quickly, or I do the most horrible thing in the world and call mum.
Red Belly bans me from his house on a regular occasion.
Yeah, that's because he didn't bring the good wine. So. How rude.
A serious response to that one for me is, of all the gaming groups that I've run, I've never done a Warhammer one outside of working as a teacher. I've done D&D groups, I've done RPG groups, I've done other things like that. I've been very, very insistent on what I've always called Rule Zero, and that's don't be a dick. Anyone who breaks that rule gets a little holiday from the group. They continue to break that rule, they get an extended holiday from the group, and to the point where they won't be invited back. For me, it's setting that rule set down very, very quickly, because you got to have it clear, you got to have it equal for everyone, you've got to have it out there and obvious that this is the behaviour, no matter who you are, what the fuck's up with you, what the fuck's wrong with you, what the fuck's right with you. Rule zero, you break it, you're gone, and that's how I deal with toxic.
It's our general rule for our group as well, don't be a dick. And yet most of us are still here.
I started the group, they kicked me out, fuckers.
I've definitely been part of groups where one person has kind of been given the message of like, mate, if you keep acting like that, no one's going to play you.
Yeah. So
it's your opponent's choice if they play you, and if they don't want to, they won't.
Yeah. So we did have one person in the RLG group who is no longer in the RLG group because it got to a stage and said, nobody wants to play with you, mate. No, it's not working. I got to play with them, and it was not fun.
I played with
shit. I
played with them once.
I won't play with you again. Unless you change A, B, and C. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, and sometimes that works. Like, I know at least one dude from one of the local groups who kind of got that hard word of like, man, you're not fun to play against. People don't like playing you.
Yeah.
Can you like work on these things? And to his absolute credit, he did. He became a much better person to hang out with and to play against, and really turned it around.
Yeah. And that's how we deal with toxic people. We just kick Mark out. He's gone. I don't know what happened. So for the podcast, he's just dropped out.
I'm wondering how I'm still there.
No, you're still here. You bring the beer.
Take it off the island.
Alright, so he's back here. He's back, but he's on trial, right? He's on trial now.
What the fuck did I do wrong? I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me.
That was perfect.
Anymore.
That was great. Outside that, look, I've only played the one tournament and everyone was good. And I think that's also highlighted by tournament organisers as well, is that won't be tolerated. Bad play won't be tolerated. And there's very clear rules in the player guides that we're here to have fun. Don't be a dick.
Like most tourneys kind of have that rule, like play the game, not the man, kind of thing. Don't be a prick to your opponent. I had one tourney that literally publicly shamed one player who had a lot of reports at the end of the tourney. They like made up an award to give him to make fun of him.
Nice. Yeah, so I think that's a positive of the gaming group. If you go online, that's a different world.
Yeah,
that's a different world. So how do you deal with it? I think that's it. We just cut it out. It can be difficult at the time if you're not prepared for that attack, I'll say. Again, I've dealt with many different people across my career, so I can generally handle it okay. but I wouldn't want anyone to be put into that situation.
No. Like I see it all the time at work. I don't put up with it. I'm never going to put up with it. And there's no place for it in any part of society, whether it's official work, whether it's schooling, whether it's hobbies, whether it's sport. It's just fuck off.
Yeah.
No, look, there was a cricket game last year that it got to a point and I said, no, not having fun. I walked out. I was like, no, I'm done. And there I go, why? No, you want to fight and you want to abuse. I'm here to play cricket. Fuck you. I'm out. Because just because I'm so toxic. And we lost the game due to a forfeit. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. That team was not welcome back to the competition the following season.
Yeah.
We weren't the only ones.
I did that. I've done that twice at like a 40k tournament. Just gone like, no, I'm not playing that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll lose. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Black Swords Warriors. I don't want to see toxic kids walking over him. Yeah. It's a good point. Kids generally don't have the same tool set that the adults will have to be able to handle that. It's tough. Look, it's tough. I don't have an answer on that one. Be there, talk to them, talk about expectations, and yeah.
I can put my experience as a father of someone who is, or actually both my kids are on the spectrum, me being on the spectrum and seeing that in a playground environment all the time. It's just, all I can say is Black Sword. Just tell your kid, walk out there with expectations of what they want of their life, what they want of their fun. And if anyone starts giving them shit, making it hard for them, tell them to speak up. Yeah, speak up. Don't suffer in silence is an old one, but there's always someone you can talk to and get them to tell you. Get them to talk to their adult in charge.
Yeah, especially if it's a community group or if it's in a G-Dub store, there will be someone you should be able to. And it's even just speaking up, it's going to be tough, but yeah.
Yeah, like yet again, both of my kids are on the spectrum, and I try to steer them towards safe groups to begin with, like to kind of get them in there, but also to teach them, like, if someone's doing shit like that, tell someone. You know, tell a teacher. Failing that, tell me. I'll fucking sort it.
Yeah. Right. Oh my god, yeah. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, I agree with what Michael said. I agree. I try to do the same thing with my son. A couple of yous know him, and yeah, it's just try and tell him, speak up, just be your normal self, and have fun.
Yep.
And I went, who cares if you win or lose, as long as you have fun? I try to tell him, sometimes you'll be better than some people, but sometimes you will be the worst.
Yeah.
It's not you.
Yeah.
It's those goddamn dice.
And also,
first person shooter you're playing.
I try not to be not to let my son beat me like when we're playing, because I want him to know that you can't always win.
Yeah, correct.
You know?
And ruin
I
my
don't
record.
want him to expect that he will always win.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Great question, Black Sword. I'm very happy that you felt comfortable to raise that. That was good. I think we've all been in a situation. I know my eldest, his anxiety issues and stuff has been a challenge in areas. But at the moment, we've worked through it. And at the moment, oh my God. Put him on a volleyball court. Whew, wouldn't recognise him as what he was a few years back. So it helps to talk. Yeah. Cool.
Well, it's just like my youngest. She's hockey. That's her game. Outside of hockey, unless you know her, she's a quiet, calm, introverted child. But I shouldn't call her a child anymore. She's out. But you know her now, Greg. You've seen her over the years, and you're used to her. And that's because she's seen you. She knows what she's like. But on that hockey field, she's a dangerous thing, and she'll slam someone hard. We're in that full goalie gear. She'll slam into someone and cause them some damage. That's her space.
When they find, as I said, my eldest, he's played a lot of sport over the years, but I've watched him in the tournament for volleyball, and they win a point. I've never seen him just so pumped. Holy crap, where has this come from? And it's just, Yeah, they find their spot. They get their comfort. Yeah, build the tools around them. Yeah. Great question.
And that's anything. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the hobby, if they don't want to be picked on, don't buy them Ultramarines. Right. Or Tau. Oh, that's a bit harsh.
I mean, I was perhaps cruel to my son. I gave him Death Guard.
Hey! How rude.
Just get him world eaters. Tim World Eaters and tell him just be angry.
Yeah. Oh, very good. All right, we'll wrap it up, folks. Unless you guys want anything else to say or anything else from chat, now's the time. He likes Tau. See what you've done?
Clip, clop, clip, clop.
He likes the robots. Yeah, go for it.
Go the Necrons.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us tonight, whichever channel you're watching on. If you are watching it on YouTube, please hit that follow. If you're watching it on Twitch, hit that follow. Hit all the follows. Just follow. We don't mind stalkers, as long as they bring us the good beer.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or I'll point the laser pointer at you.
That's exactly it.
Ring the bell.
I need
Can
a
you do this guy on the edge for me, please?
Yeah. Subscribe so I can afford more pegs to play with. Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. Mark, say goodnight.
Good night, Mark.
Adam, why don't you say goodnight?
Good night, everyone.
And I will also say goodnight. You can catch me, of course, on Hobby Nights Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you can catch at least two of us on Sunday Night Gaming, where we terrify the living Jesus out of ourselves by playing horror games. It's not smart.
I'll get on one of these days. One of these days I'll get on.
And it's a good night from me, and we'll let Radio Mike take it away as per usual. Thanks, Radio Mike!
Well, you know what they say. Beware the mind goblins. The hobby can certainly sometimes be a case of mind over matter, but sometimes it's also just what the doctor ordered. But you know what you can always do? Join us next month for more Wobbly Player Syndrome.